when you said 2.5 million out of 4 million people living in Tehran came out to march against the Shah, supporting of Khomeini.
The real figure was about 1 million, 1 million
Whatever the
and
number
half.
is, they were brainwashed. They were brainwashed. Like when you remember when Cinema Rex happened and they said, oh, Savak did it. And then afterwards you realize it was one of Khomeini's people that did it. You haven't read that story?
Yeah, I have read it. You know, can you say that a nation, say 30 million out of 35 million, no, 25 million people out of 35 million people at least were brainwashed?
Yes.
How can it happen?
What percentage of, how many people?
How can it
What percentage
happen
of Americans
that-
do you think are brainwashed?
You know, I think that this is an insult to the people of Iran.
Oh, not at all. Let me tell you.
You know, look at the era. I mean,
You asked me a question. Let me give you my argument. Then I want to
Okay.
hear from you. So you're asking me a question. Do I think it's possible to brainwash 25 out of 35 million people? Really? In how many instances do you see when everybody conspires in America to say, if I was to ask you in 2016, if Trump was tied to Russia collusion, you probably believed it, did you not? You believed it. You can answer that. You believed he was tied to Russia collusion, yes or no?
I have read in some books, but I need more documents.
Did you believe it when they first did? Did you think he was tied to Russia and he was
I have
colluding
read
with
in
Russia?
at least 2 books about Putin that Trump was in the business of money laundering.
Mohsen, it's a very basic question. Do you think Trump, at the beginning, did you believe he was colluding with Russia?
No.
Mohsen, that smile on your face is cracking. You may be a good poker player.
No, I'm
but
not.
That smile is cracking. How many people in America believe that he was colluding with Russia?
I don't know.
Stop it.
Of course,
Rob,
I don't know.
Can you run a? Would you say it's only 1%? Would you say it's 60%? Would you say it's 70%? What percentage of Americans in 2016 believed that President Trump was colluding with Russia? Can you ask it on ChatGPT? If that doesn't come up here, ask it right here first. Let's see what it does. Right there, see if the answer comes up. Because there was a poll. Nearly half of all Americans believe President Trump worked with Russia to interfere in 2016. The most educated country in the world, let's just say. All the Harvard and all the Yale and Columbia and USC and UCLA and Wharton. 500,000 people believed that, half of America believed this guy was colluding with Russia. What happened a few years later? $35 million dossier by Hillary Clinton. Convinced, and then nobody talked about it anymore. Everybody stopped. So you don't think conspiracy theories work? Look at this. They just fooled half of American people. So for you, now take it back to then. This would have been 80% if there was no social media. This would have been 90% if there was no social media. If I only have 2 channels or 3 channels or 4 channels to listen to and competition for media wasn't high, 80% of Americans would have been brainwashed, including me. A lot of us. We would have been like, holy shit, that's probably what happened. Maybe his son did meet with him. Maybe that did take place. Maybe this did take place. No, for you to say that 25 to 35, the power of propaganda is so flippin'. It's if somebody very powerful in a political party that hates you, if they want to put a campaign of propaganda against you to destroy your life is destroyed. Your life is destroyed. They can, if they want to convince the world, you even whisper and said, accusations of Mohsen rape in 1989, boom. Hey, accusations of pedophilia, boom. Accusations of Russia collusion, he's tied. Your reputation is tied to being an agent. When I talk to people, some people say you're still dealing with mullahs. Some people tell me you're still tied to Nayak. Is that true? I mean, if they want to do it, they can do it like this. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. All I'm saying to you, for us to sit there and assume that Iranian people...
Can I answer now?
Of course. You asked me a question, I give you my answer.
Yeah.
But
when you are talking about brainwashing, definitely you should have the tools for that, propaganda. Especially now, we have social media that can create political turbulence. That is a new era, by the way. And mass media. In Iran, during the Shah, the exclusive state-run TV belonged to Shah. There was no propaganda for the Islamists who wanted to come to power, except the mosques and the mullahs that they were, preaching and blah, blah. I mean, when you look at a huge event like Islamic Revolution, I believe that revolutions are not produced by one person or a group of people. Revolutions are a big social events that happen. You can go and said, so far it has been written more than 1,000 books in Western countries about Islamic Revolution. You can go and find the roots of the idea of Islamism, get the power by Muslims to before constitutional revolution of Iran. From this point of view, Islamic Revolution in Iran is a part of a bigger event in the whole region of the Middle East and Islamic countries. Why? Because after the decline of Ottoman Empire, for the first time, Islamic nations found out that, they are under power of colonialism. So they started to, and their confrontation with modern world, they started to say that, okay, what can we do? What should we do? And I think that in mid-50s, Ikhwanul Muslimin, Muslim Brotherhood, that was founded in Egypt, and the famous book written by Sayyid Qutb, or Qutb, they call him here, his famous book, 20th Century Ignorance. In that book, Sayyid Qutb says that, okay, why should we try to reach the Western civilization? We should get rid of that. That's the ignorance. They are brutals. They are criminals. We should go back to genuine Islam, that is Islam of the Prophet and companions, or in Shiism, Prophet and Imams. Then we will have paradise on the earth and we will become powerful again. And we will not be under control of the Western countries. That idea from 50s spread in all the Islamic countries, and so far, that idea of Sayyid Qutb is still the belief of all the fundamentalists, like ISIS, Daesh, or Al-Qaeda, or Islamic Republic of Iran, that if we go back to Islamic Shariat, Islamic fiqh, the Islam of the Prophet and the first years of Islam, then not only we create paradise on the earth, but we become powerful and we can confront the Western civilization. That's one of the roots of Islamic Revolution. Gradually from 50s and 60s, it became a dominant idea. The second part that gradually came to Iran was go back to 60s, for instance, and early 70s, ideological revolutionary ideas, leftist ideas, that was dominant in intellectuality of not only Iran, but even in the US. I was studying in the US from 1975 till 1978, especially European countries. You were not intellectual if you were not leftists. Ideological leftist ideas became dominant. I can borrow the word from Thomas Kuhn, paradigm, the era of some discourses. That was a revolutionary paradigm. Everybody thought that, okay, if we make a revolution, everything will be solved. that was so powerful idea that Mohammad Reza Shah himself calls his reforms as white revolution. If you read his books, he says that I am the true revolutionary, but my revolution is white, but so acceptable, the idea of revolution and revolutionary, that even Mohammad Reza Shah tries to say that I am the revolutionary.
But here's how you can...
I mean, these ideas got together, gradually became dominant in intellectuality of the country.
Right.
Amongst the, and a big mistake, I can say, by Shah, that closed all the political parties. In 70s, he announced only one political party, his political party, Rastakhiz, that was a Farsi translation of Al-Ba'ath in Arabic countries, in Iraq and Syria. And he closed any free political activities, but kept the mosques open and gave the way to mullahs. Altogether, I mean, these, besides to many other things. For instance, Shah was ill. He got cancer. Nobody knew about
73, 74.
Yeah. And even I asked when I was in the U.S. in a meeting in Washington Institute, I think that, I don't know, I don't remember some of the officials. I asked them, that, why didn't you know that Shah had cancer? That was your ally. He said that we didn't know that until 1978. He succeeded to keep it secret. I mean, maybe...
What's your point with that, though? What's your point?
I want to say that when you look at a big event like Islamic Revolution, that comes from a whole the society, simple answer to say that people were brainwashed, or people were, that was a conspiracy of U.S. and intelligence of British MI6. I say that such a big event takes decades to grow up and has roots in many events of the society and many other things. For instance, let me tell you, Shah improved the middle class of Iran, definitely, by number and by quality of life.
Education,
voting, and income.
Right.
Especially in
exponentially, like the numbers
especially
of people
in 70s,
see it.
After increase of the oil income.
Right.
And he made big mistakes to inject the oil income to the economy of the country without, declining the value of the money of Iran. Anyway, he created lots of expectations from that middle class. That middle class could be the power base of Shah, should be. But why they were dissatisfied in 1977, 78, and it turned against him? Why? Because he created lots of expectations for them, according to a document that I read from Savak. When I was at head of radio, I found that a very good note, that was a small book written by Savak in November 1978, that explained that why people are against Shah. One of the main reasons it says that was true, that middle class should support Shah, but we have created, regime of Shah, we have created lots of expectations for them that no government can satisfy that anymore.
I think that's a fair assessment, meaning
it is.
Overpromise, under-deliver on some of the things.
I say this example as an example that how different factors, different facts, different roots, ideological, social, economic, all together, illness of Shah, blah, 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 get together, make a revolution. That's not... Khomeini was one person. I don't believe that that revolution was created by Khomeini.
You are underestimating the power of a united front who wants to replace somebody. Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.